Hey, Chester, quick rundown. It's probably just something I'm clicking different. I do have Paint 4.0.16, and so this is paint.net, and I just downloaded a quick barbecue logo off the internet, some generic thing. So I'm going to zoom in so my old self can see it, and I'm going to use the wand selection tool. Default is 50%. Sometimes that's good, sometimes it's not. Looks really pretty good. I'm thinking I may not want those corners in there. Let's see. When you're adding to your selection, you can hold Control. If you want to take away from it, you push Alt. So I'm going to see if I can. Oops, can't do that. Okay. Control Z. I'm going to go back and adjust my tolerance down until I don't have those corners. I have to take it all the way back to that. Then I can hold Control and plus and add that piece around the outside. I can pick up this and that. So I'm just holding Control and clicking the things I want to add. Control Z in this program doesn't undo big things. It'll actually even just undo your last selection. So I'm going to zoom in on this letter, and I'm going to Control click, and you see it has all those holes in it. So I'm going to increase my tolerance to get as clean of lines but still get all the letter. I'm happy with those. Looking pretty good. But A is kind of questionable. That's good. Okay. A little more on that one. Round it out. There. Okay. So that's all that I want for the sign. Let's say there's a little spot in that D. I can fix that later. Probably need. I better Control Z that. It's going to be more trouble than it's worth to fix right now. There's one there in the G too. So, okay. Let's say that's what I want to make my sign out of, or to start with. I mean, I'm going to have to add some bridges and things, but so that's what I'm going to start with. The first thing I'm going to do is hold Control I, and that's going to invert the selection so that I can click the eraser tool and get me a nice big eraser brush, and I'm going to erase all the background, and that's going to be everything that I don't have selected in the first step, because when I invert it, now it selects everything else. When I'm doing work for vector stuff, I turn the hardness all the way up, and I turn off anti-aliasing. That gives me a sharp pixel edge. So then I can go in here and erase all of this. So now that's all gone. And now what I'm going to do is click the paintbrush tool, and I'm going to push Control I again, and that's going to revert the selection back to what I started with, which was everything I want for the sign. Now this is what you'd asked about, and so now anytime you paint or erase, it only affects what you have selected in paint.net. So I'm going to leave my brush huge and just paint everything that I want to make the sign out of black. To get rid of that selection, I just click the square select tool and click on the page. So I'm going to zoom in. It remembers my hardness and anti-aliasing, so I'm going to get my brush down to something I can work with, and I'm going to go in here and just clean up a couple of things. Now these dots that, whoops, I don't want to erase, I want to paint that. So these dots that are in here, they need to go away. I got to get a smaller brush for that. And I use erase instead of paint white, because it just works better for me. I can see it better. The more you kind of clean up now, the less you're going to have to fix later. You can add bridges at this point, or you can do it in your CAD program, whichever's easier for you. As you can see, this really wasn't the greatest image because it's not very big pixel wise. So I'm going to crop it. One handy tip for cropping. So you know I want to get everything in there, but I missed the side and the top. So if you'll click this bottom white piece that says move selection, if you pick this, it moves selected pixels and it moves what you're drawing. But if you pick move selection, you can come in here and edit your stuff. If you pick move pixels, that stretches your pixels and messes the thing all up. Go to image, crop to selection. There we have it. So I'm going to save that. I'm just going to overwrite it. I'm going to leave it 100%, so it's pretty small. The place that I get my absolute best vectorization automatically for me is in my vinyl plotter software. I have this expensive Design Edge software that I could probably change some settings in, but I don't use it for that. So okay, so I'm going to vectorize it over here just because it comes out better. I can trace it and change settings in the smoothings and the corners and get it like I want. So this will smooth out all those pixels. I'm 99% sure that Inkscape doesn't have any problem doing that. I have Inkscape, I'm just no good at it. Because now I can go up here and I export that as a DXF. I'm going to save it as this barbecue logo where I was playing with it earlier. And then I can go to my Plasma software and I can import that DXF. So there it is. So I can scale that up to however big I want it. And then this is only going to apply for Plasma Cam people. So it's really not an issue, but you know, for most people. But I'm going to come in here to make this a sign real quick. I hope it doesn't completely bore you, but just for bridging purposes, I can come in here to this node point and I can catch that right there, like that, and then I can offset that 1/4 of an inch for my sign. Oops, 1/4 is not really enough. So I'll offset it half for how big I made it. I think that's perfect, and that'll clean all my edges up. And this is why I use Design Edge, because I can, I know all of the particulars. Oops, and I'm just much faster at it. So these pieces have to stay in there. So join. Fix my problems over here. Oh yeah. It's always quick to tell me I've done something wrong. Okay. That looks better. I can do the same thing up here. I can clean things up. Like I said, I really think you can do these things in Inkscape also. Without much problem. But we'll just make this thing a respectable sign while we're at it. These are things that you're already doing. So trim that out. That out of there. Let that in there. One of these is my crooked one and one is the straight one. So I'm going to keep the straight one. Trim that crooked one out of there. Get all the right bits here. Okay. Join all of that. And we can see what we've got. Now then, these letters aren't going to hang up there by themselves. So, draw us a piece for them. This one I'm only going to offset the 1/4. Oops. Let's see, go the other way. this up. Hold your letters in there. We should have a pretty decent little deal, especially if I finish cleaning it up. There. So that's taking you from a raster image with multiple colors to a sign that we can cut. Hope that helps a little.